From our physical health to our financial health, with inflation still well above where economists wanted to be, many Americans are struggling to make ends meet these days. My next guest says it is simply because Bidenomics is broken. Rebecca Walser is a top 100 U.S. financial advisor. She's a tax attorney, a wealth strategist, and a certified financial planner. The resume is jam-packed, folks. She joins me now from Tampa, Florida, to talk more about all of this. So good to see you. How are you?
Great, Terrence. The storm so far is not really killing us, so we're doing really great.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that part because I was a little concerned, but let's get into this topic. From your perspective as a financial insider, how is Bidenomics or Biden's economy broken?
You know, Terrence, I pulled a couple of the top things he likes to say, and I'm going to give you the reality versus what he likes to say. So the first thing he likes to say is that he touts 13.4 million jobs being created since basically he took office. That's not the case at all. We've had 2 million jobs created since the pandemic. What he's talking about is jobs recovered since the pandemic, the shutdown and then bringing jobs back. You know, Trump alone had over 16.6 million jobs recovered. So we have only really created 2 million jobs. He likes to say that, you know, his deficit has come down 1.7 trillion. That is not true. It has come down 1.7 trillion off of the 2020 pandemic levels where we printed trillions of dollars of stimulus. So that's what he's comparing it to. The federal debt has actually gone up 3.7 trillion since his taking office, Terrence. And let me just give you one more. Credit card debt has risen for the first time ever to over $1 trillion in Q2. 1 in 4 Americans have cut back on their retirement savings. Housing sales have dropped 34% since he took office, and 66% of Americans disapprove of their economic situation, living paycheck to paycheck. We have 57% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck.
You know, those numbers and the reality versus the rhetoric from the Biden administration are very different. But the truth is, Americans are still spending pretty robustly. And that seems to be a disconnect for me.
Yeah, and I think it's really a bifurcation, a separation, Terrence, if you will, of the haves and the have-nots, because you do have this really desperate situation at the lower income spectrum where Biden is saying that real wages have increased. That is absolutely false. Real wages have actually gone down by over 3.4% since he took office. So he's out there touting and making people at the lower end of the income spectrum feel like they should be seeing more money. And the truth is, it's almost costing about $1,000 more a month to just afford the basics that we used to afford. So it's the people that are still on the upper end that are still able to consume and spend on services, Terrence, and that's why you're still seeing a mixed bag of numbers.
So are we in store for a recession then? Is it inevitable?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I did a podcast about 2 weeks ago about the 5 main economic factors that there's no soft landing possible, and we're already seeing that. We're seeing the labor market retrench. We're seeing the weekly production averages get cut, which increases the weekly for the leading indicator, which is the initial unemployment claim. So that is ticking up as hours are getting cut. We're starting to see manufacturing. Manufacturing is definitely in recessionary territory, both in Europe and in America. It was supposed to be 49.3. It came in at 47. Anything under 50 is retraction, recessionary. So yes, we are going to have economic pain coming. And now with the BRICS announcement of Saudi Arabia and the UAE joining in January, we've got de-dollarization to the speed we've never even considered before, Terrence. So we have some major structural issues going on economically, globally, and Americans need to wake up because this is a global currency transition that we're going through. In
15 seconds, is there any way we can rebound? Is there any way we can right the ship?
Yes, absolutely. The ship will get righted eventually, Terrence, but it's going to be, we have to prepare for some economic pain first. But yes, there is some good things coming. Absolutely.
Rebecca, we'll have to leave it there. Good to talk to you. We appreciate you being here with us. Up next, it's our infamous